So my name is Julia Studnichuk, and I'm the official representative for the international public movement Politics 2.0. And yesterday we announced that we are now witnessing state conspiracy, which is being organized by the president himself against himself in order to provoke some kind of revolutionary event in Russia, to make some kind of corridor for him to disappear, green channel for him to disappear from Russia, leaving behind all the crimes, all the situation that he's created with the Russian economy and civil rights and political situation in Russia. The situation we witnessed yesterday in Moscow, all those protest meetings showed that the only situation when police really suppresses some protest actions is when it has some specific order. In case there is some crime being organized, happening in Russia, and there is no some specific order from the president to stop this crime, some anti-constitutional crime, nothing is being done by the security services. We, our movement, have taken a lot of actions to stop extremist actions by a person who named himself Shaman. His name is Alexander Gabyshev. We've been writing to Federal Security Service, we've been writing to Ministry for Internal Affairs, to Prosecutor's Office, making them control each other and do something to prevent these extremist actions from happening, to stop him, to be him prosecuted and be judged. And we see that no action is being taken, despite the fact that Shaman's words sound quite extremistic. He's speaking things like, I'm going to make Putin go by force, I'm going to attract people to fight the police, to fight the Federal Security Service, to fight the National Guard. So this sounds really extremistic. This sounds really as something which should provoke revolution and provoke some kind of brutal events, bloody events in Russia, and nothing is being done to stop him. He keeps on walking, he keeps on posting videos, and we get some replies from the services saying that we need some expertise being taken, we need to do some action, we need to forward your letter somewhere. At the same time, when in Moscow, people walked the streets without such kind of extremistic words. They didn't actually shout out any extremistic words. They were just shouting like, we want democratic elections, or we want our candidates to take part in the elections, which sounds really democratic. Despite the fact that there was no actual extremism in Moscow happening, police and National Guards and other security forces took quite brutal actions to suppress those protests, and some people are beaten, some even had to go to hospital. So there were some tragic things happening in Moscow. You could see this during online streams by different journalists. So in fact, we are seeing that this project, Shaman, with all these extremistic words he's saying, and actually people support him because everybody in Russia understands that life is going worse and worse, and actually the support of the president is just falling down, is close to zero. And people support this Shaman, and people really want to happen such things to happen, which Shaman promises. But nobody stops him. This proves that this is really the conspiracy being actually supported by the president himself in order to provoke this kind of revolution in Russia. And our movement, we started our activities in March 2018, after the presidential elections in Russia. We did not delegate our power. We kept the ballot papers to ourselves, proving the fact that the power which is granted by the Constitution to the nation of the Russian Federation is kept to ourselves. We have it, and we haven't delegated it to anybody. So we have equal rights to take part in political issues of Russia, the same as the president, in fact, in Russia right now. And we see that since the president is taking part in this conspiracy, or even organizes this conspiracy, and we, the nation, we want our country to exist, we want our country to be preserved and secured, and we want it to be protected from all the internal revolutions which might take place. So we will now be taking all necessary actions in order to prevent such tragic things from happening. We've proved already that we do not want any street unrest, we do not want any meetings or any kind of risky events. We take our actions exclusively according to the law. We base all our steps, all our documents, on the existing law of Russian Federation, on the constitution. And we've been in contact with a lot of ministries and federal bodies and regional bodies, bodies of authorities. We haven't received any document from them saying that our actions are legal. We make all things absolutely legally, and we make them publicly. We always announce what we are going to do. We always publish the documents before we email them, and we always rely on the laws, on the current laws. So right now we are going to the next stage. We've already announced, and just let me say it once again, we've informed beforehand that if we do not get any result in Russia, we'll be turning to international bodies whose function is to protect the political and civil rights of nations. So will be taking actions in order to get in touch, to inform these international bodies of the conspiracy taking place in Russia. And we have collected already a lot of proof, a lot of evidence, proving that the state system of Russia doesn't function. It doesn't function at all. It only waits for some specific order from the president to make some things happen. In case there is no order, it doesn't work at all. It has to do with some things which do not function. It has to do with some crimes happening in Russia, with some violations of law. In case there is no specific order from the president, nothing is working. And this proves that actually the system of the federal bodies, of the bodies of authority in Russia, doesn't work. It's and this is a crime. This is a crime against the nation, against the country, making this kind of the state system not functioning at all. And we have the proof. Unlike all the people who just face some violation of their personal rights, we have proof that the protection of the national rights, of the things which are protected by the constitution, it doesn't happen in Russia the way it's stipulated in the constitution, in the laws. We have the proof, we have official documents, every one of us has such documents. So right now we'll be using all the proof we have, all the evidence to prove this fact of conspiracy, and especially with the situation with Shaman, because we even turned to court. We even filed a claim stating that the Ministry for Internal Affairs doesn't act according to the law about itself, and doesn't actually work, doesn't do what's supposed to do to protect and fight extremistic activities. And we have this, it filed in the court, and we see that the court doesn't review it at all. It just doesn't. It doesn't do anything. So this is actually one more proof that the system doesn't work, and the system and this is a crime against the nation, that the people who usurp the power in Russia made the situation like this, that the state doesn't function according to the nation's will. So right now, the members of our movement, we take this responsibility to prove that there's a conspiracy, and this is a conspiracy against nation, and stop this from happening, stop this bloody revolution from happening in Russia.